I spent 4 years of my life for this degree, and I can't even get a job that pays $14 an hour.
I sat in prison for 6 years, came straight home, got into welding school, and made over $100K my first year.
I probably wouldn't go to trade school, and if I were to go to trade school, I would choose somewhere super cheap because it's honestly super easy to teach yourself how to weld.
Master's degrees are useless for most people. Why? Because a master's degree doesn't prepare you for any job.
Why society look down on blue-collar workers is a question we should have been asking years ago. For decades, the message was simple. Go to college, get a degree, get an office job, and you will have a better life. But while society was telling young people to leave the trades behind, somebody still had to build the houses, repair the machines, wire the buildings, maintain the equipment, and keep the economy going. Now, those skills are getting attention again. Thank you for joining. I'm Partsman Pro, and today we're going to be looking at a couple of videos of both men and women who are actually enjoying the trades. I've been reacting to and carrying a couple of videos in my last couple of series highlighting the need for more young people, especially women, to get into the trades because office and administrative roles, they're effectively going away, being replaced by AI and newer technology. We're going to be reacting to a couple of these videos, so stay tuned. I want you to join me and let's go.
I don't know what to say.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Do you like it?
Get to like it.
All right. Is this your first oil field job?
No.
So where were you at before this?
I used to do crude oil with this company, Enterprise.
You've had your hazmat already.
Yes.
What's up? That's what's up. How long have you had your CDL?
About 9 years.
Dang. Nice. So there's a lot of women who are going to do what you do. They don't want to be over the road anymore because like the rates and the pay, it sucks now. They're thinking about coming to the oil field. Any advice you have for them?
It's way easier than other jobs that I had before.
CNG, delivering CNG. The CNG keeps you clean. It's super easy. I agree 100%. All right, thank you.
I am a self-contracted welder, and I've currently worked for myself for about a full year now. And here's what I would do if I would start all over. I probably wouldn't go to trade school, and if I were to go to trade school, I would choose somewhere super cheap because it's honestly super easy to teach yourself how to weld. You can buy a freaking Harbor Freight welder and teach yourself how to weld in your garage or somewhere, okay? It's not hard because welding is what you put into it. Mind you, I'm a fabricator, not a pipeline welder. There are different directions you can take in welding, just to clarify. So you're not going to work for yourself right off the bat. Obviously, you're going to have an income. So probably get a regular job. And if it is in welding, even better. And if you are looking to be a self-contracted welder, get a fab job if you can. And if not, you can still teach yourself everything. YouTube is a freaking gold mine. And with that income that you're making, you invest in yourself. Get your truck, get your welder, get your tools. Then do jobs for free to create yourself a portfolio. Because are you going to get a haircut from someone you don't see whose hair they cut? Hell no. Do jobs for free. Word of mouth is everything, okay? You need to literally promote yourself. Get business cards. Show your stuff online. Talk to people. I get a lot of my jobs from word of mouth because I get recommended by people. Bro, I'm literally building a freaking condominium. How cool is that? Don't quit either. This shit is not easy. It is not easy.
This job market is so cooked. I have a degree in chemical engineering. Spent 4 years of my life getting this degree, by the way. And I can't get a job anywhere. I've applied to so many different engineering firms. I just cannot get a job. So then I started applying to places like Walmart and McDonald's. I've been rejected from all of them. Every single one. I spent 4 years of my life for this degree, and I can't even get a job that pays $14 an hour. And it's not like I don't have experience in the field because I worked at Walmart in high school. I worked at McDonald's in high school. I worked at both these places. I can't find a job still. And I've been trying to tell my parents about it. Did you walk in and try to apply inside? What do you think I've been doing? I've literally had to resort to filing class action lawsuits on claimmoney.com to pay my rent. In what world does someone with a college degree need to rely on the class action lawsuits to be able to live? I literally don't know what I do with that stupid website. I'd literally be in a box on the side of the road with my little degree holding it up to the cars that pass by. This job market is so cooked.
And of course, here's a comment from another girl telling him that get a modeling job, you're beautiful. I mean, some of these women give the worst advice. No wonder we're in the situation we're in right now. But let me correct something from some of my earlier videos. I pushed the idea that college was simply a bad choice and the trades were always the better choice. And that is going to be just too simple. The data shows that education still matters. In 2024, US workers with a bachelor's degree had a median annual salary of about $1,543 compared to $930 with workers with just a high school diploma. And this isn't an argument against college. It's an argument telling every young person that college is the only acceptable path, because that message, it created another problem. It taught millions of people to look down on the people who actually make, repair, install, operate, and maintain things. And if you were told growing up that a 4-year degree was the only way to succeed, I want you to think about this. Who taught you that working with your hands meant you weren't ambitious? And if you work in the trades, tell me what you do and what you wish people would understood more about your job.
Hey, Sean, this is great because I wouldn't work for anyone like you anyways. Currently, I work for the largest crane company in the entire world, and I've been employed with them for 9 years. My company, my union, and all of my crews see my worth and why I deserve to have a seat in my crane. So, whoever you hire, good luck to them.
If you need to get yourself a blue-collar job, babe, let's talk about it. There's entry levels all the time, like a laborer, fire watch. As long as you get your foot in the door, even janitorial starts at $25 an hour. If you can go to a school and learn a real trade. I always recommend for a female to go as an electrician because they get paid a lot of money and you really don't have to do a lot of hard labor. But this is a trade that is high in demand and everybody forgets about. Pipe fitter. It has a lot of mass, so that mass definitely go for that. They are high in demand and they pay very well. And of course, I always advocate for women to weld. If you can draw a slick, beautiful winged eyeliner, you can probably make a really slick weld. If you can find a union, join a union. You can earn real straight while you work and make a paycheck.
Now, here's where the story gets interesting. The U.S. labor market still needs technical workers. BLS projects 394,000 annual opens across construction and extraction occupations from 2024 through to 2034. Installation, maintenance, and repair occupations are projected to have over 608,000 openings per year over the same period. And those numbers include electricians, mechanics, HVAC technicians, equipment technicians, construction workers, and many other skilled occupations. And some of those careers, they actually pay well. We're talking about heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration mechanics and installers. They had an annual salary of about $59,000 in 2024 alone, according to BLS data. Wind turbine service technicians, you're talking about $62,000. Those are projected to grow almost 50% up to 2034. And that is technical work. It requires training, it requires problem solving, and it requires you to actually know what you're doing.
Yo, if you're wondering how much do blue-collar workers get paid, go no further. This right here is a 1-week paycheck that I made as a professional welder. And I want you guys to understand something. I sat in prison for 6 years, came straight home, got into welder school, and made over $100K my first year. So these earnings are very possible for the ones who want to be reliable, for the ones who want to be very skilled at what they do, for the ones who actually put the work in and get all their certifications, TWIC cores, OSHA 10, Basic Plus, all of these things that are going to put you in position. All of this matters when it comes down to getting this type of money. Do you see what I was making? Double time, overtime. I was making $106 an hour. Just in one day, I was making $1,400 in one day. This is very possible.
And funniest thing, this is the average right now, and the average woman will look down on him. And this shows it requires you to know what you're actually doing. Now, think about the message young people heard for decades. Go to college. Why? Because part of the reason was economic. College graduates historically earned more and faced lower unemployment. BLS still shows that relationship today. But another reason was social status. People started treating the office as a sign of success. And the person wearing a suit was considered successful. The person wearing work boots was often treated like they had failed. And that's where society got it wrong, especially our women. There is nothing low status about diagnosing a machine that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there is nothing low status about wiring a building. There's nothing low status about repairing a commercial HVAC system. There's nothing low status about operating equipment that can move tons of materials. You need intelligence to do those jobs. You need training, you need judgment, and you need experience. Technology is changing those careers too. I'm not going to tell you that AI cannot affect the blue-collar work. It can. Robotics, automation, sensors, software, and AI will change how many trades operate. But technology also requires demand of people who can install, maintain, troubleshoot, and repair that technology. And that's the part people miss. A machine can make a process faster. Someone still has to understand the machine when something goes wrong. And this is why technical skills actually does matter.
Reason that people don't think that a college degree is important anymore is because it's not. Modern college degrees are largely useless. They aren't job training. They're barely education, and they have no cohesive standard. That's the biggest thing. When someone says, oh, they have a college degree, I'm like, that means nothing. Why? Because the colleges, again, are so greedy. People laugh about bachelor's degrees from the University of Phoenix. How is that materially different from Yale? How is that materially different from UNC? How is that different from University of South Dakota?
What would you say are the 5 most worthless college degrees?
Certainly, like psychology is a classic one, history, the arts thrive. I went to school for music composition. I was making money off of it because I had a business brain, but Gen Z, with the rise of AI right now, they're entering one of the worst job markets we've had in a long time. I want to see people getting into those degrees that are more AI resistant. Nursing is incredible. We got to get dudes in nursing. I don't think people are going to want a nurse robot. Even if it is better, in the end, I think you still want that human touch in that field. Banking, finance, yeah, you're going to have AI integrated, but there's such a heavy regulatory environment that it might be more resistant to AI soon. And then women into the trades would be awesome as well. We need more of that, and we need more men in social work. It's not gay to be a nurse. There's nothing wrong with being gay, Jack. Okay?
That's one of the reasons I've also been advocating more women getting into the trades, because women dominate retail and administrative tasks, and those are going away. There's nothing wrong with them coming in and balancing the act. They have to try to force themselves. Look, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do, but the writing is on the wall. We have to face the reality. The nucleus family is dead. Traditionalism is dead. And if we want equality, we have to start doing the equal jobs. The Federal Reserve also found that a worker's field of study can have a major effect on future wages. In its research, the field of a degree was a stronger predictor of future wages than the selectivity of the college itself. So maybe the question was never college or trades. Maybe the better question is, what skills does the economy actually need? Because you can spend 4 years getting a degree, or you can spend 4 years becoming extremely good at a technical trade. Either part can work. The difference is what you learn, how good you become, and what the market will pay for that skill. So why did society look down on blue-collar workers? Because we confuse education with intelligence. We confuse office work with success. And we convince too many young people that working with your hands meant you weren't using your brain. That idea needs to go. College can be a great choice. So can the trades, so can technical training. The goal isn't to make every person choose the same path. The goal is to give you enough information to choose the path that fits your ability. Your goals and the skills employers will actually need to make it happen.
I don't necessarily think it's young people's fault that there is a housing crisis. I was saying people are just doing college courses for the sake of college courses, and they're coming out with degrees that they can't get a job out of. Oh, it's everyone else's fault now. I'm 25 and I can't buy a house. But you don't have a deposit safe. You're earning 30,000 euros a year. Whose fault is that? Is it my fault, Ray Coo, because I pulled it up? Or is it your fault because of the choices you've made? And people kept saying, oh, I am working out. We're not talking about working part-time in Dunn stores or going in and working in the bar. Or we're saying starting your careers where you're earning good money that you can be saving money. What's wrong with going and having a job in Lidl and working your way up the management route and being a store manager earning 70, 80,000 euros a year? What's the problem with going off and being an apprentice? As soon as you're qualified, you're on around 50, 60, 70,000 depending on what trade it is.
If you ever feel like your degree was useless, just know that I spent 3.5 years in nursing school, obtained a bachelor's of science in nursing, proceeded to graduate, and then never used it. I took all the steps, passed the NCLEX, passed the test, walked the stage, never again looked at that degree, never again even tried. I knew I hated it from the second semester. I don't even know why I went there in the first place.
And so many people like her actually went on doing all these degrees and they never used it. She said the degree wasn't useless. She never used the degree because after a while she realized that that's not exactly what she wanted to do.
Master's degrees are useless for most people. Why? Because a master's degree doesn't prepare you for any job. A bachelor's degree prepares you for white-collar intellectual jobs by showing you how to be able to do math, read quickly, analyze documents and data, and be able to do that in intellectual fields. A PhD prepares you for any kind of upper-level research and shows you how to prepare your own data and publish it. A professional degree prepares you for things such as law, medicine, etc. But what does a master's degree do? Oh, it just teaches you more classes. And yes, I know master's degrees oftentimes have a research or internship requirement. But here's the thing. You could get that experience either through a bachelor's degree by doing your thesis or capstone, or you could get it through your real-world job or your PhD or whatever it is. So why do employers and PhD programs require master's degrees often? It's just because of the fact that they get so many applicants that they have to arbitrarily screen and filter out people with the master's degree because they see the master's like, oh, that means that person's more likely to be a hardworking, more ambitious person. But it doesn't mean that you're actually more prepared for the job. So my recommendation would be do a master's degree either because, number one, you just want to learn more information, period. Or number two, it's necessary in order for you to get to the next step in a specific job that you want to be in.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I ended up doing my degree because I got promoted. And in order to keep that promotion, I had to finish up the degree in order to stay in the position I wanted. Not all of us are prepared to take on the responsibility that we wanted. I was successful at it, but at the same time, I wish I was basically a certified master technician that actually pays more.
Budget my paycheck with me as an 18-year-old plumber. My gross pay was $1925.45, but with taxes and deductions, I made $1,800. So first off, I put $200 into my Roth IRA. I then pay my credit cards, which was about $600 for all the tools and everything I buy. That's the reality of Apprentice. I then put away $400 into a high yield savings account because I'm currently saving on moving out. For my Roth IRA right now, I just invest strictly into VU. I put $150 aside for rent because I get charged rent from living with my parents. For the rest of the money, I set aside for gas, tool buying, food, etc. That's how I, as an 18-year-old apprentice plumber, budget his paycheck.
And I need to start charging rent. Blue-collar workers aren't the people who couldn't make it. Many are the people keeping everything else running. This is Partsman Pro. If you want more videos like this, increase the likes on this video, share this video, and subscribe. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. The links are in the description box below. Stay sharp, stay educated, and I'll catch you in the next one.